PFF is running one of their biggest sales ever. 40% off a PFF Plus subscription right now using the promo code Black Friday. That means that you get everything fully unlocked. You get the grades, you get the stats, you get all the fantasy advice, the betting advice, which our new player prop tool is available on web as well to make you a smarter, better. You've got all of the draft analysis, the free agency analysis, all of that great stuff. Subscribe.pff.com to get 40% off a year-long PFF Plus subscription. Get it now. The Vikings traveling to Seattle to take on the Seahawks here. No J.J. McCarthy in this game. Has he officially been ruled out, or is it just like we kind of assume he's going?
I don't think it's official, but it's probably 90% there.
Feels like he's not going to play in this game, which means Max Brosmer is going to get the nod if that is the case. Talk to me about Max Brosmer here for this matchup.
Coming from right down the road, you love your low moving costs, don't you, Trevor?
Yeah, baby. He's right at home. Well, he won't be for this game. They'll be in Seattle for this game.
Oh, well, true. Well, you know, it's just the home state. That's close enough. We'll go with it. He gets to get on the team plane right down the road. Obviously, goes from being a Golden Gopher to a Viking. But no, I mean, yes. Max Brosmer, I think we should. It would be right of us to just give kind of a primer on what he is as a quarterback and what the Vikings would be getting here, right? So you look at his numbers from college football last year. His 1 year at Minnesota, he was a transfer from New Hampshire, 14th in the FBS with an 84.2 passing grade, 77.5% adjusted completion rate, very good turnover-worthy play rate, 8th best in the country, and he makes intermediate throws with the best of them. And I think when you look at Brosmer as a player, the best way, Trev, you can go back to the draft and give your thoughts on this too. The best way I always thought of him when I looked at him more, he's very in that Jimmy Garoppolo kind of category where he's efficient, he's got a quick release, he's going to throw the football on time, he's accurate, just doesn't have the biggest arm or the most mobility to make plays outside of structure. But I kind of think of him in that sense of just a guy who's going to do what the coach tells him and get the ball where it needs to be placed. I think if he's going to take shots down the field, it's going to be down the middle of the field off of play action. He's always been like that, even going back to his days at New Hampshire. But I think that's kind of what you're talking about. If you want an idea, okay, what kind of quarterback is Max Brosmer? I think about him a lot like Jimmy Garoppolo in that role he played all those years in San Francisco.
I actually liked Max Brosmer a decent amount when I was watching him throughout the draft process. I thought he was somebody who I thought had a good chance to get drafted, that was going to stick around on a team. So it's kind of cool to see him get his opportunity here as a rookie to step in for the Minnesota Vikings, like we believe is going to be the case with J.J. McCarthy, likely out due to that concussion. So I'm intrigued to see how he plays in this one. Now, going to Seattle for your first start, not ideal. Admittedly, that's a tough assignment and a Mike Macdonald defense. But I'm excited for him. I'm excited to watch that game on that side of the football. On Seattle side of things, I think the main data point that everybody's going to point to here in this one is what is Sam Darnold against the blitz, right? Because this is a Brian Flores defense. They're going to want to dial up the blitz. This is in their DNA. This is just what they do. Well, Sam Darnold against the blitz this season, 86.3 overall PFF passing grade. He has been fantastic against the blitz. And then to give more fuel to the fire of having some confidence with the Seattle Seahawks in this game, look, the Vikings will blitz and play zone, right? They'll allocate more resources towards attacking the pocket, and then they'll try to cover it more with zone coverage on the back end. So you're not playing true man coverage a ton, but let's face it, whether it's man matching principles or a guy being in your zone and then you have to pick him up as if you're just playing man coverage on him, not allowing him to catch the football. When you look at the Vikings' top two corners, Byron Murphy, 42.7 man coverage grade this season. Isaiah Rodgers, 36.0 man coverage grade this season. Anytime they are matched up with Jackson Smith-Njigba, I like that Jackson Smith-Njigba, right? How could you not? The guy looks like he's going to be a record breaker. He could be a record breaker this year. And even if he doesn't break the NFL record for most receiving yards in a single season, he is going to be an all-pro. He's going to be remembered as one of the best that the league has had in the 2025 season. So I don't like either of these guys in this matchup against Smith-Njigba. So I don't like the Vikings' advantage when they blitz against Sam Darnold, and I don't like their top corners and how they're going to cover JSN. If you can't do those two things, I don't like you to have a chance to beat the Seattle Seahawks. So I went with the Seahawks 27-13 in this game. I think they're going to win pretty handily, and I think the line of 11.5 going to Minnesota speaks to that.
Yeah, I think Darnold's ability to handle pressure and possibly handle a high rate of simulated pressures could be something that is a theme in this game. And I think for Seattle, when you really look at, the first thing you have to think about is how in the world do we deal with Jackson Smith and Jigba? I think you said it right. The Vikings probably don't have an answer for that because nobody's had an answer for that this year. Going the other way, like you mentioned, Max Brosmer, I do like him. I'm with you, but really tough assignment here at his first start on the road against one of the best teams in football. I've got Seattle 28-17. I just think this Vikings offense is it's in a tough spot right now, and I think you don't want to be playing this Seattle defense when you're struggling the way that they are offensively. It'll be fun to see if Max Brosmer can go out there and play a good game, but I think Seattle's just a better team here.